Yes, we're still listening to that same album by the band. Songs from the Big Pink. I think the people are still making music. People are making art all over the place. You just don't know about it because the algorithm don't want to tell you. Lame. The algorithm's lame. The algorithm listens to 38 Special, okay? The algorithm listens to, it's another mainstream band. What's like the most mainstream band that's ever existed, aside from the Beatles? People act like they weren't mainstream all because they did drugs or something. No, honey, that was like the time that. What, are you letting me go? Okay, thank you. Thank you. They didn't have to do that. That was stupid. Why did they let me do that? You're mad because somebody did you a favor? Yes! Because it inconvenienced somebody else. Which just means that they wanted to be validated. Yeah. That probably is true. God, I'm such a good person that I'm gonna let you in. Even though it negatively inconveniences everybody behind me. But I'm such a good person. You know? Not everybody's a narcissist. I mean, not everybody needs to be validated. I would say that everybody does need to be validated. They've proven that they need that. Women can't stop proving that, and men can't stop proving that they're women. So, what do you do? What do you do? Oh, we were talking about mainstream bands. Nickelback. What's a mainstream band right now? I mean, I don't really listen to music on the radio. Haven't listened to the radio in a really long time. I mean, like, not regularly. I used to listen to the radio when I was younger because we had the AM, FM walkman. You remember that shit? Anytime there was a really stupid song, they would overplay that stupid song. And God forbid there was a decent song, they'd overplay that too, and then make you hate it just as much as the stupid songs. You know? Counting Crows. They mainstream. I don't know, I feel like Adam Duritz wrote way too many songs about disheveled women that were probably gonna kill themselves to be considered mainstream, you know? I actually think that the reason why Kurt Cobain committed suicide was because they're trying to set an example of what white men need to do. no, that was a joke. That was a J-O-K-E, okay? Don't kill yourself all because you're white. Kill yourself because you have a penis, okay? Oh yeah, I want to talk about this other thing. That I think is poetic justice, and somebody's going to be mad at me about it. In Europe right now, Europe's completely falling apart because of immigration, and apparently there's a lot of street harassment going on in the UK, and especially Germany. Germany is really bad. And a few years ago, it was bad over Ramadan, and y'all know that's a Muslim holiday. Okay? Muslims have a completely different culture. Like the way that they look at women is very similar to how I look at women. I just don't think that women should be treated like that. I don't think that women should be forced to cover themselves head to toe and never talk, never laugh, never be allowed to express themselves, have their clitorises forcibly removed. You know, I think that that's a little bit extreme. I just wish that they'd shut up sometimes. That's all. I realize that I probably shouldn't jokingly state that I want an oppressive regime, because I think that that's what will happen eventually if things get too out of control, you know? But they're using the West is using immigration to destroy the West, and it's not that hard to see that. But it's really, really easy to see that in places like Germany, where white women are getting harassed by all of these, dare we say, colored men. Well, they ain't white, honey. So what else do we say about them? They're black, they're brown. Typically not Asians. Asians don't seem to do that. Asians and white men have very similar temperament. They're quiet. They're somewhat respectful. I think that they have a little bit more self-awareness and a little bit more self-control. And that's why they've had to vilify white men. That's why they have used slavery in America to paint white men out to be the monsters. But white men are not responsible for that patriarchy. White men are not responsible for that culture that truly oppresses women, you know? It's not a white thing. If white men did anything for society, I would say that they were trying to rise above that oppressive culture and that oppressive society that doesn't allow people to flourish. And, you know, I really hate the term individual. I think it's really stupid. And I think that a lot of the people that use it don't really believe in it. But as an artist, it's so important to me to be able to express myself, and don't think that I'm not grateful to live in a place that allows me to do that. I know that I complain about women a lot. Yeah, because they don't have any appreciation for that. They don't have any appreciation for how good they have it. To be able to keep your clitoris, I would say that's pretty damn good, and it really pisses me off that they don't understand that. They have no idea. that they could be way more of a victim than whatever victim they think they are. And the reason I say it's somewhat poetic justice is because a lot of these white women have been complaining about white men. Well, who's going to protect you now, bitch? Who's going to protect you now? From all these coloreds that are going to fucking rape your ass in the middle of the street. And Angela Merkel, she ain't going to do shit about it. She's just going to tell you, stay at home. Stay at home. You see the way these girls are dressed? Do you see the way they're dressed? They're asking for it. Yeah, they probably are. I mean, I've always said that they kind of are. And these Muslim men, they can't fucking control themselves, honey. Because, like, in those cultures, they're not taught to control themselves, you know? I would say that one of the perks, one of the many luxuries of living in a first world country is that people have a little bit more self-control in relation to other people, you know? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I would say that that's definitely been exploited because of, like, all the things that supposedly make us free. And so they had to provide the country with things that would make us sacrifice that freedom and convince us that we're better off if we do that. Convince us that we are happier because we have a television set. Is anybody truly happier because they have the internet? Is anybody truly happier because they have the option of constantly distracting themselves with whatever they choose to look up online? I mean, I would argue that society is not better at all. Society is exponentially worse than it's ever been. And unfortunately, you don't have enough people that understand that it's the stuff that we use on a daily basis that's the main problem. That it has nothing to do with policies and shit like that. I mean, nobody's oppressing women. Like, oh god, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Because all the stuff that they believe in is stuff that actually oppresses them. I would say that sexual liberation, just the whole idea of that is an oppressive idea. Because it resigns you to this idea that you're not really living your best life unless you're sleeping around. You're not really living at all if you're not going out and experimenting and doing all these things with total strangers. And like, I can understand, you know, you get drunk, you make a mistake. We all do it sometimes. I made a lot of mistakes when I was drunk. But the thing is, though, like, why would you want to live the kind of lifestyle where you're constantly, like, having to rationalize the things that you do? And now you're worried that you can't abort your baby. You know, if this is a concern, like, you are the problem. You are the problem. The policies aren't the problem. Politics aren't the problem. But yeah, women don't appreciate things. And women that don't appreciate things they won't get taken care of. They won't be protected. They won't be protected by a man, and they won't be protected by God. Because you don't appreciate it. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't understand the source. because I immediately acknowledged who got me out of the bad situation. It was that motherfucker, okay? Yeah, I call God motherfucker. Deal with it. Deal with it, normal people that don't watch this. But yeah. When you look at our society and you see all of the things that our society thinks are happening that aren't actually happening, and then you look at the stuff that actually is happening, it's pretty fucking horrifying. So yeah, like, the fact that all these white women think that they've been so oppressed by white men, and they can't wait to talk shit about their own race. Like, they're literally going to be sexually mistreated, to say the least, by people that are not white, and they're not even going to be able to say anything about it because of their stupid ass politics not allowing them to say anything that's politically correct. That's why none of them are saying, yeah, it's black men, it's brown men, it's all the migrants. You know, they don't want to say that. They just keep saying men, all these men. In a way, the United States is very lucky to be set up the way that we are. Like, I know I complain about this country a lot, but I've been thinking about, you know, different things that haven't gone completely south, and it's like we could still salvage whatever's left of this motherfucker if we had enough like-minded people. I think that is the issue, primarily. But yeah, what was I talking about earlier? Mainstream bands. Mainstream bands on the radio. The Beatles. Why the Beatles was mainstream even though they dropped acid. Oh. Yeah, but I think that there are a lot of people making art. It's just not, art is not something that is respected in society. Art is not something that's appreciated in society. So something that's not respected or appreciated is not something that's going to be promoted or encouraged or anything. People aren't even going to notice it. It's only going to be artists. You know, it's only going to be artists that notice other artists. And why was I talking about that earlier? I don't even know why I was talking about that, but oh, I was talking about this band and how they made this album and this pink house. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dedication with music. And I think that artists are probably the only people, well, I shouldn't say that. I would say that artists are, definitely people that understand that they have to be able to focus, and there's a level of commitment to it that people don't really have that level of commitment to anything anymore. They definitely don't have it to relationships. They don't have it to their children. And you can definitely see it, you know, like the types of people that are really, you know, lame and boring, and they don't have an attention span, and they brag about their fucking brain rot or whatever the fuck. It's like, yeah, they don't have shit going for them. It's like we can all do something creative. We can all, like, make some sort of effort to do something that you know, makes it easier to exist in this shit world. This totally mechanical, industrialized world that's falling apart because of that very thing. You know, we could all make an effort to, like, yeah, do something better than this, but people aren't dedicated to their creative life. Definitely not. You can talk a lot of shit about all this stuff I post, but at least I'm making some kind of an effort. I think that people are actually really jealous of that, and they don't know how to admit that they're jealous because they don't know how to admit that they experience any negative emotion other than rage. But I understand that jealousy is not an easy one to admit. You know, and as a person that used to be riddled with jealousy, I can understand. Like, there are people I've worked with, and people I've done comedy with, and people I've gone to school with, and people that mistakenly said that they were my friend. And they were just so mean, you know? People had issues with me, and I never did anything to them. I never said anything on purpose to hurt them or anything. I just exist, and I'm just a different type of person. And that's the threat to, you know, boring people that just go along. But it took me a long time to realize that the reason why they were insulting me is because, like, they didn't have that authenticity. And if they were insulting my physical appearance, it's because they weren't that attractive. Or maybe they were, but they were still really insecure about it. Pretty girls really hate an ugly girl that doesn't care that she's an ugly girl. You know? So can you imagine how ugly, insecure women feel about me? Fuck. I mean, a lot of these women, they hate me because I'm not a feminist. Yeah, if you're a feminist, you should just kill yourself. Like, really, I'll just say it, dude. Just say it. Before you get exactly what you deserve. And once again, I stress, I don't want bad things to happen to women. But I do think that, like, women in the West have been weaponized. Like, we've been exploited to the point of no return. Also that we could be weaponized against ourselves. Okay? And so many women, especially white women, will go along with so many things that are detrimental to our ability to survive. And it's like we're convinced that, like, if we don't go along with this stuff, like, we're like a bad woman or something. Like, you need to support all women making decisions for their bodies. No, I don't support any woman ever making a decision, as if that's even possible. Okay, women don't make decisions. They don't. They don't know how. They don't know how. I keep saying the whole pro-choice thing, this is psycho. Women don't believe in choice. Perpetual victims do not believe in choice.